Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Electrician Live with your host, Paul Abernathy. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Electrician Live. For those that are listening over on electricianlive.com, the podcast that streams every week at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for listening on the podcast. And for those that are watching over on our video feed at youtube.com/Master the NEC. Thank y'all all for coming. Tonight should be a pretty good show. So again, we have been doing this now, started in January, and it's been now, I guess this is the 9th episode of Electrician Live. The listening has really increased over on our podcast. It gets simulcast through all the other networks. So thank y'all for joining me. Those that are on the actual video feed, I want to welcome them. Jeff, Ronbo, Benny, Danny, John, thanks for coming to the actual stream. And so for those that are listening over in the podcast, I remind you that if you just don't want to listen to the podcast, you can come on over to our video feed. Again, it is youtube.com/Master the NEC. So today's episode is going to be about building a website and kind of what I go through to build one. Very cheap and efficient. I have electricians that do this all the time, and I talk them through it. First things first, why should you get a website? Whether you're an electrical contractor or electrician, you working for somebody, or you're looking for a job, whatever it may be, today it's so easy to build a website and put your present out there. So it's just so much easier for you to be able to build that and put together that website that we wanted to be able to show you how easy it is to do it and how to create it and everything that's involved with it. So it's just so much easier to be able to create it. And that's what we wanted to be able to do for you, is be able to show you that and how to do it and everything like that. So, all right, so we're kind of going to work our way through this, and I'll give you kind of our way that we do it and how we create the website. Very easy, quickly. Of course, you can get as fancy as you want to get, but I'm going to show you a way to do it for free. And if you want to then get your own domain, I will go to the next step and show you how to get a domain. And it's very inexpensive and who I recommend. and I've been doing this for quite a few years. So I started out with my own servers, hosting it, and having my own private servers and doing everything. And it just got really overwhelming for me to be able to do that. So I'm always looking for ways to do it and make it easier. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on this episode. We're going to work through and create kind of a little website and work it together. How about that? So, but first, let's start with the website. What you have to do and why you should have a website. If I'm an electrician and I'm marketing myself, whether it's I don't have a job or I'm looking for a job, then what happens is you really need something that's going to make you stand out. So a website can also be a resume page. Okay, so it basically can have you, what you do, what it's all about, and everything. Okay, and having your own website so that you can promote yourself and your skills and your talents. And I always tell people it's much easier to have a business card or when you're in contact with somebody to have a website so that you only have a small amount of time that you can spend with somebody. But if you leave a link or you leave an email address and you can communicate that way, it helps you out. If you leave a LinkedIn account, it helps you out. All those things are great. But inside of all those things, if you have a website, then it lasts longer on the internet and people can go to it and see it and you can share it on a bunch of things. So if you're just an electrician working for somebody, you should have your own website about you. And if you work as a company, you should have a website that you can promote because it's much easier to say stuff about your company on a website than it is to pay for all that extra advertising to say a whole bunch of, usually in ads, you have to pay per the word. And here you just need the URL and that'll convey your message. Okay. So let's go on and kind of give you a walkthrough of what I do here. So the first thing that I'll say is I utilize Wix. Now Wix is just like it's spelled, Wix.com. Okay, so it's Wix.com. Now, there's other ones, GoDaddy or whatever, but here's the thing. They don't really give you the ability to pull from a template and create something that's going to be quick and simple, and really all you have to do is come up with some images. You might have images that are on your phone from jobs you've done, all those type of things. You just need to have access to all that on a computer when you build this site. Okay, so you're going to need to build it from a PC or you can actually do it from a MacBook, but because it's web-based driven. But you're not going to really do this from the phone. Okay, now they have the apps. Now here's the other thing about using Wix. It has automatically adapts to smartphones. So I'm sure if you've been on my website, whether it's Electrician Live or Master the NEC, when you're looking at it, it looks different on a browser than it looks on your phone. And so it's totally different look. Although most people know that on your phone, you can actually change it. And let me make sure I silence this because actually it's the actual my show playing on here, as you can see, playing on the phone. And that's the show you're watching right now. You're on it. And you see me holding the phone up to the screen. So it's actually a good stream tonight. But on it, you can actually see, move the mic. You can actually see all of the shows coming down in the future. But that's not what it looks like on the web browser. That's what it looks like on the adaptive actual phone when it adapts it to play. Okay? So this is something that Wix does automatically. Okay? And so you don't have to have a paid account to do this with Wix. Although I have paid accounts, obviously. But you can also, on your phone, many people can do what's called the desktop version. And, of course, then it looks just like it does on your desktop, whether or not you're looking on your computer. Okay? So it's auto-adaptive, and it does it on its own. So that's a beautiful thing because you don't have to worry about getting into apps and all this kind of stuff. All right, so let's kind of look at what we do here. The first thing I say is go to Wix, set up an account. It's a free account. So you set up a free account. Once you get in, it'll ask you, do you want to create your first website? So here you see these are premium. These are the ones that I pay for. And then you've got some other ones down here as well that are free. and I can move my premium around as I want. And so the beautiful thing about, and we'll show you, the beautiful thing about the free one is that it only puts a little teeny banner at the top, and that's it. That's all it puts at the top. Okay, so for example, here's my electrical website for my electrical company right here. And I'll show you, I'll view live site and show you what it looks like, just so you can kind of see. So this is my website and for the electrical company. And you can see that it's, whatever surge protection, whatever, it goes right to it. Our services, okay, all that type of stuff. Texas law, so that you know what the penalties are if you're doing work without a license. I make people very aware of that. And then, of course, about us, a little something about us down here. Who are we? Things like that. And the contact us button. And you'll see that it has the number, email address, where we serve, and you can fill in this information. So you go to home, and it goes right back to the beginning. So this is kind of what we're going to talk about, how easy it is to create your own website doing all this. So let's kind of go back here. I'll get rid of that. So now, first thing that we do in Wix, again, so that's Wix.com. So you should write that down. That's where you're going to start and get a free account. And now I'm going to create a new website. So what it does, at this point, it kind of walks you through some things. Okay, so as I'm creating a website, and we'll talk about some other things as I go on, and it looks like I've got a little bit of a haze here. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can clean this up. For those that are on the stream who, like when I look as pretty as I can. All right, it's good, although now that makes me look like I've got a suntan. All right, good enough. Hold on here. There we go. Let me lighten it up a little bit. Good enough. Y'all know what I look like. All right, so it looks like now I've got a sunburn. So the people that are over on the podcast, it literally is Wix, Wix.com. Get yourself a free account. Once you get that account, you log in, and you're going to create your first website. When you click on that, it's going to bring up a sheet that says, what kind of website do you want to create? And so when you're looking at it, you're thinking, well, I'm an electrician, so there's a lot of things here to choose from: blog, other events, music, photography. Here's something to remember. Any of these templates are usable to create whatever you want. Portfolio, CV, more like a resume scenario. But in this case, we'll just click business. Now, once you click business, because we just needed to get to this next step, it'll ask you, do you want to let Wix ADI create a website for you? Or do you want to use the editor? Okay, now if you do the ADI, it'll ask you a bunch of questions, and it'll pick for you from the database. I don't like to do that because you're going to find out how easy this really is. Okay, we're going to create it with the editor because as you move forward, you're going to need to learn how to use the editor. And let me tell you what, the old what you see, what you get type of format couldn't be any easier when you're doing Wix. Now, again, I'm not doing this from Wix to get anything from Wix. I think it's the best platform for electricians to get started, and that's why I utilize it. All right, so let's click on it. So let's choose a template. All right, so now we have a bunch of things. We got new things that have come up. Let's see here. We've got most popular. We got some blank ones. And then you can go down through consulting here, and there's a bunch of different stuff down here that you could look through. Anything that looks good. Now, here's the thing. Just because you see the stuff that's on here doesn't mean that you have to use these graphics. You could use the layout that's appealing to you, but you can change any of these with any graphic you want. Okay? So, for example, here, construction company. Okay, if you already like that look and you just might want to add some electrical features to it or whatever, you could, but that's one that's already designed for construction. So anyway, I'll click up here and we'll go electrician. We'll just do that. And I'll click electrician. All right, so what we've got here is one for handyman, one for plumber. Don't really have one. Here's a mechanical engineer. Here's one for the handyman service again, which can very easily be tailored to electrical. And so we have a bunch of them here. Now let's go through and look at them all. Tech support, repair, let's see here. Textile designer, okay. Carpenter, architect. Again, you're thinking, why didn't I get one with a light bulb already or something like that? Well, because you're basically looking at the layout of the website and you're going to customize it, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so let's look and see what's new. And let's see here. I don't like any of those. So I'm just thinking what I want to do. I'm sometimes my worst critic because I'm looking at them and I'll see which one do I want to work with. Let's go, and we got most popular. And let's pick this one right here. For whatever reason. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's actually working up the actual structure of the website. Again, this is Wix.com for those that came in late. And you've set up a free account. And now what you're going to see here, lower that down a little bit, is it says get started with your new site. Okay. So we're going to go, okay, start now. All right, so here's your layout. And you can change this any way you want. My works, my skills, however that you want. For example, I'll click on this. You just click on it, double click on it, and let's see, I just want to go here, and I'll go, we'll just do Paul Abernathy Electrical. Let's just do that. All right, so now it drops everything down, but you can just drag it, close that, drag this to the right, and it'll put it back up there like that. All right, so then I'm going to go in here and change this. And we'll just, again, you're clicking on the different boxes. It is not that hard. Master Electrician. Okay. And put that in there. And, of course, you're done with that box. Okay, so that's kind of your start. Now, as you get used to it and as you start messing with it, you'll see that there's a lot of features over here to add built-in apps, timers, all kinds of features you can add into it. All right, so at this point right here, I'm going to say, okay, I want to add, I don't like this picture, so I'm going to change this image. Now, what happens is you now have a folder that pops up, and it's pretty easy to understand. Now you just have to search for wherever the images are that are on your computer. And when we say the images, they could be anything that you take a picture of in a PNG, a JPEG, or a GIF format. All of those can be loaded up onto your actual hosting area. And it stores it in here for you. It doesn't cost you anything. So I'm going to do upload media. And I'll go on and click on my computer. And let's see here. Let's go on in. There's some videos that I did earlier today. Let's look at some pictures. And let's see here if we can find something that I would want to load up onto the website. I do all kinds of different graphics and things like that. Okay, so I don't like any of those. So I store all of my stuff in a separate server. You could store yours wherever you want. Okay. So let's see here. Image wise, let's see. What do I want to do? Let's see. Maybe I'll just pick logo finals. So let's say I just want to put this one right here. I just looked for my image and I clicked on it and it's uploading it. It's right there. Okay. And it sees a face, but I don't want to do anything with that. All right. She was just trying to be intuitive for you, but I just ignore her. I don't want her to be intuitive for me there. So there you go. So now I've added my logo right there. And here's the thing. Any of this stuff this is just placeholder text. Any of this stuff can be changed. You can click on it and get rid of any of it. It can be any logo you want. I could, for example, take this And this is actually clickable link. That's what this is, a button, by the way. Okay. So I could put this, and this can actually, and you see how you can link it? I can link this to a resume, which means I could upload a PDF version of a resume. And when people went to this website, they could click this and it would download the resume on it. So that's something. Now you can change the background. As you can see here, I could just at one click, make it bananas. One click, I can have a motion background. Okay, so it moves. You want to see and that's not really good. You'd have to change the text and everything. But see, you can click a preview and can see what it looks like. And that's what it would look like to people. Okay, it's kind of moving in the background. And you can change your text to white or whatever to make it stand out or whatever. You can do whatever you wanted with it. Okay, but that's just kind of an example. And then when you want to go back to the editor, you just go back to the editor. And I don't particularly like that background, so I'm going to go back to a different background. Let's see here. But you have a lot to choose from. And so let's see if I find something else that I might want as a background. And maybe I don't want any background. Let's see here. So if I want to go back, then I can click the back button and it'll take me back. And I didn't like these bananas. So my background was bananas and I really want it just to be a color. So I'm going to go back to, just kind of maybe a light gray. And I'll choose a light gray. Okay. So you get to customize it. Everything over here is really simple. Okay. You can control how low it sits on the screen. Now, when I want to add text, I click on this box. And in this box, I just type what I want, everything I want about. So this is the website for Paul Abernathy, and blah, 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 type out whatever you want. Now, with this, you can change the fonts, the size. Watch this. I can highlight it and change the size however I want. I can bold it. I can center it. I can change the color of it or whatever I want, all within the console here. So it's not complicated to create the website. Now, what it also does for those out there that really worry about creating a website is that it also creates the structure pages. So every website should have your intro page, okay? It should also have a services page where you go to the services that you offer, and it automatically creates this, so it makes it really easy for you when you're using Wix. And again, it's free, and so you could go up here and click on it, and you see your structure. So there's the three. Remember we said the resume? Well, here's the page it would link to. And so I clicked on resume, and here is where you could customize the page, professional information. You could click on this, and you could edit it all. Click on this, you can edit this, all your positions. So you can have your contact information down here and everything. The importance of this also, if you didn't want to do the resume, you can also change the title of it, and you could add or manage pages or even remove it if you didn't want that to be here. Okay, these are all of your links to the pages. Okay, now I'll show you how to create. So here's all the pages. If I didn't like this because it says resume, then I could click on this and rename it, and we'll call it work history. For whatever reason, I'll call it, and it automatically changes it. Okay, so see, it says work history now right here, and this is not the only menu you can have. I have other menu options here. Okay, if I right click on it or even click on it and let it highlight it, you'll see here layouts, menu, change the design. Maybe I click the design button, and now you see that I don't like this look here. Then I can just change it over to this look. And now it's this look, and I can drag it anywhere that I want it to be. Right there. And so the final look of that will be just like this. And I can change any of this at any time in Wix. Okay. So creating it is pretty simple. Now, there's a lot of other tools that you can mess with, but you kind of can get that as you're playing with it. Keeping a very simple website comes with all these templates that are already in place. Okay. Now, what if I want to add another page? Okay. So I drop down again. I click Manage Pages. I just simply add another page. Click on it, and it creates a blank page. And here I'll just go, let's say, Services. Click on Services, and it's done. And it creates another tab for Services. Now, I don't like the way this navigation bar looks. Okay, click on Design. Go up here. All right, I'll just go back to other format. And you can change the color on any of these as well. Let's just go with this one. Okay, now if you want to customize and design it, I can click that, and you can see that these colors can actually be changed. So I'll change it to that. All right, so there you've got different colors depending on what they're clicked on. Okay, so there's that. So this is pretty simple, and this is a blank page. And you'll notice it keeps all this information at the bottom that you can edit every bit of this. Okay, change the numbers, change your contact, change the copyright information. Here you see your social media. If you've got a Facebook page or Twitter, you just double click on this and it'll allow you to input. Now here you have some blank canvas. Now let's say this page, for example, was our services. Then see over here where it says add. I click add, and I have all these options over here. If I just want to put an image here, then I click image, and then you go over here. There's a bunch of free images, stock images if you want. But then I can click this one and see where my image was. I can now upload an additional image. So if you've got a bunch of images of past work that you've done, it's real easy to be able to incorporate it and add it into your site. And you can create separate folders to keep them in, to keep it manageable. But we're talking about just keeping it simple on this episode, so we can kind of keep it simple. So for those that are listening over the podcast, it's harder, obviously, in the podcast to follow along. You really have to go to Wix.com in order to get a feeling for this. So I recommend those that are listening to the podcast to actually go over and listen to or watch the rebroadcast of this episode when it's done, so that you can kind of get a better understanding of what we're doing. So anyway, if I want to upload a picture to put on here, like say some service pictures, so I've got all this stuff here, but I could go back to pictures, and there's a ton of pictures that I could add onto the website, whatever I wanted to add. So let's just say I want to add this t-shirt for whatever reason. I'm uploading that t-shirt, and you just simply add it to the website. Now, what's neat about this is you can adjust everything by clicking on it. But let's say this t-shirt, I can actually go up here and go to the design. And you have a bunch of different options here. Look here. Put it in a round. Bars around it. Bunch of different features. All incorporates it itself. And so no frame. So, I kind of like that. So we'll do that. So then that's on there. And now if I want to put, again, if it was doing something with services, and this is my services page, then I'd go here to add again. And then I might put text. And I might do, because of bold text, I might go, well, maybe I'll do some titles. And here we go. Let's just do huge title. And that comes up. You put it up here. Now double click on it. And now you can edit it. And we'll go electrical services. All right. And then I can take it, highlight it, drag it down to a manageable size, change the font if I want. Let's do Arial Black. And then just reposition the page. It'll stretch it out. And I'll bring it out over here as well. And that'll bring it up there. And I could put that like that there if I wanted. So as you can see, it's very easy to customize any of these. And you notice that it's highlighted up here, services, because that's the page, okay, that we're on. All right, so go back over to home real quick, and I'll kind of give you an example. When I close up, and we'll click preview. So this is what it would look like on the internet, okay? And when I wanted to go to services, which is what we just created, I just would click services, and it takes us to the page we just created, okay? So again, let's see here. Go back to where I was. Okay, so as you can see, it's real easy to make a website using Wix. Get the free account. That's the key, is definitely get your free account by going to wix.com. All right, and what I'll do is I'll go back here. And any of this stuff you see on the screen is customizable. Now, if you're thinking, okay, this one is a harder one because it really had nothing there and I'm really starting from scratch, then you can use the ones that are the commercial ones, for example. And they are a little easier to maneuver, okay? But there's so many other things that are in here. For example, I can add the social media. I can add bookings. You can take appointments. You can add your own contact form, as you can see here, for people to reach out to you on a contact page. You can do feedback. You can job applications. You can have people apply for jobs on your website. You have subscriptions where people can subscribe. So if we wanted to add a subscribe button, we click subscribe, and we go over here, and we got right here. We'll just put this one on there. And now it's just forming it out. And there's my subscription. I'll move that. Actually, I'm going to move the whole thing there. I want to move everything in it. So we'll just move this whole piece right down here. And we move it down. It'll move the bottom bar with it. And then we'll just move this down a little bit. You click on things, it'll drag it. And now you've got an email subscription. So people can do a subscription in things like that. So if you want to have people follow you and you get subscriptions. But the point being that, as you can see, everything is really just a click and drop, click and drop. You really can't screw it up. And everybody should have at least a resume website, okay, where it might be just your picture and then your history, okay? And there's a lot of templates that are already made up for that. So it's not complicated when you're getting a Wix. And you really can't screw anything up because you can make as many free ones as you want in your account, okay? So now, once you start making a free one, you're going to say to yourself, well, what's the web address to this? Well, when you set up the account, make sure you set up your account with a username that is something that conveys your company or you that you're going to use, unless you're going to get what's called a forwarding domain. So in other words, in mine, let me show you here. So this is the information here, and I want to show you the preview. And this is what this one we just kind of played around would look like. All right. And incidentally, what will it look like on a mobile device? You can click this one here, and it'll show you what it would look like on a mobile. Here's what it looks like on a mobile. It reformats everything, which again, you can change any of this and move it around. And you notice that it reformats it into a mobile view. So you almost create the website. And this is the only thing that it has on it is this little banner right here. And I'm like, it's free. So, here you click it. See where it goes to services? We just created services, and there it is. And you can move anything around, even in the actual, here's the view of what it looks like when you're looking at it from a mobile side. Same as it did when you're looking at the desktop. So I can move any of this around I want to so that it's more pleasing. Okay, I can move this up if I didn't like it. I can change any of these. If I click on that, I can move anything around that I want. I want this. I like to move this down a little bit right here. Everything is still able to be changed on here. And that's your mobile side. Now go back to my desktop. And here you're on your desktop, and it just, now, let's talk about publishing. What happens when you publish? So when you get your website looking the way you want, and you add all kinds of things, like I got nothing here, but this is a services page. But let's say that I want electrical service. Let's say I want people to be able to get in touch with me. Okay, click add, and go down here, and let's go to contact form. And I want to do, we got quizzes, and I don't want all that stuff. So I just want a contact form. So let's go payments or contact us. Okay, let's just add this one right here. All right, so here's our contact form. And I'm going to bring it over here. Now this is a big contact form. So I'm probably going to reduce the size of this, move this up here, take this, drag this over here, and probably let's do a design. That one's a little big, so maybe I want to try this one. That was big too. So layout, let's see what we got by layout. All right, layout, spacing. Okay, so it looks like we can make it that size. There we go. So we'll make it this way if that's what we want. Now, of course, we can size this within reason. It'll only let you do so much. And now you've added your get in touch, and you've got space over here to add, maybe some awards you've gotten or whatnot. And then you can change this so that when they click the submit, it actually sends it to your email address. So that's all built into here. Okay. So let's see here. You got the form settings. As you can see right here, you can set the settings for what each one of these columns say. You can accept payments through it, contact fields, automation. So when somebody fills it out, it says a thank you. All these type of things are built into it. Now, once you publish it, I click the publish button when you're satisfied for what it is you want. Here's where it'll say, congratulations, publish your site. And see this says my site? This is what you change to once you submit it or are ready to upload it. You can literally change this to say whatever your electrical company is or whatever your name is here. You will keep your main Wix thing, like mine's abernathypaul.wixsite.com/. This is what you get to customize right here, whatever you want it to be, okay? So at that point, it is now on the internet, okay? It is live, all right? So here you have settings. You can come down through your settings, add your business info in it, everything else. You can go back to your dashboard, add your social media, your business info for this account can be added as well. So all those type of things can be added. Again, this is the my site that we just created. You can fix all this, put your business name, everything here. And again, you can change the name of your domain and everything at any time that you want to change it. All can be done through this website. So this is the Wix, and you can even do blogs, email marketing, media, add anything. For example, I can add there's just so much stuff. We're hiring buttons. You can place any button that goes anywhere. Like if I wanted to take a button and I just click this button right here, call us. I click it and it puts it here. And I can drag it right here. See, it has the lines that'll center it up for you. So I can put it right there. Now, if I want this button to do something, okay, I double click it and it lets me add it to a link, and I could actually link it to a phone number. I can link it to Anchor somewhere else on the page, a website. Click on this button, it can take me to another website somewhere, phone number, whatever. So say I stick a phone number in there, and I want the number to be our 214. The 214-945 to the call in 0653, and I click done. Okay, so that adds that number, and it has the icon and everything like that. So then I close it. So then if I click preview, if I click it, okay, it's trying to make a call. And it will actually connect. This is my phone that I can make a call. So this is unique to Windows. I can make a call from my actual computer. Okay, when somebody else does it, if it's on their cell phone, it probably will switch over and open up their phone app. So people can call you directly from your website. So that's a neat interactive thing that you can add to your website. All of this stuff is customizable, every bit of it. Okay, so you can add as many pages as you want. Like, for example, project page. Let's look at the project page. In this one, it has a project. You could put down some of the projects you've done. If you're a project manager, then you could list some of the projects that you've been a project manager on. You see all these graphics here are changeable. All you have to do is click on the graphic and you can change it. Okay, change these little containers, change the buttons, move it around like this container. I double click on it, change design. Let's say I didn't like that circle. Well, I want to go to, I don't like that. Let's go to that. We'll click on that. Okay. And then of course you got the text, which you can make smaller or bigger, however you want. And so everything in here is really, really easy to be able to drop and click, add. Even if you started with a blank template and dropped your picture in there, you uploaded your picture of you or your company logo, dropped it in there, and just added stuff around it. In fact, you could do it, probably spend a day on it, and you can have and it only has to be the number of pages you want it to be. Okay? If you just want it to be one page with your picture, your company's logo, or whatever, that's fine. You can get rid of all of these. I can go right here and I can get rid of every single one of these pages on these little dots here. Right here, delete. I can get right here. If I want to get rid of, watch this. I'll just delete it. Yep. I'll just go to services. I'll just delete it. I just want to show you how simple this would be. I go to projects. I wanted to delete it. I just delete it. Okay. And now, of course, all I've got left is my contact page, which already has the email contact submitted. So I'd probably leave that. So I go to home. Now, that's my main page. If I build that out and that's all I want, then I put this here and I will put down whatever I want to put about my company. I can get rid of any of these buttons I want by just simply clicking on it. And then I could just hit the space bar. Watch this. It's gone. If I make a mistake, up here, I've got undo. It'll bring it right back. So it really is simple to navigate. All this information, email button, all this is just a click it twice in there and it'll pull up the navigating, and I could just simply change this and put, for example, master the NEC.com. All right. And if I want to space it out so that I change my size of my text, I can do that. If I want to just move it around a little bit, then I can click on it and I get the 4 little, and you see the lines I get that helps me keep it even with everything else. So it really can't be any simpler than this. Take your images that you might have, some of the work, load it in. If I was doing this for an electrician, I would make a nice frontal page with your company logo or your picture of you or whatnot. Put your name. I might put my name here in big bold. Put in here residential or commercial or just electrical contractor. I might have maybe some other pictures of our work on here. And I might have something as simple as 2 pages, maybe estimates. Okay, so if I was going to add a page, I'd go up here, manage pages, and I'd say add a page. And so now it creates a blank page for me. And on here, I might want to say estimates. And so I'm going to add. Okay, let's just add some text. Let's do big text, huge text again. Double click on it, backspace it. We'll just say estimates. Click on it when you see the 4 arrows. You'll see, watch it, it'll center itself. Right there. That's the center of your page. Okay. Then I might now, see how simple this is? I might now go and click add. And now I want them to be able to contact me. So I might go down at this point and do contact forms. And I might have, look, you've got donations, sales leads, job applications, support, testimonials. You can get testimonials from people. All this kind of good stuff that's involved in here. But I want just, let's say, just to contact us, reach out to us. Okay, so I'm going to click that one. And I'll move it down. And so this is how they can reach right out to you. Pretty simple on your contact page or estimates page. And you want to say this right here, I don't like this get in touch. No problem. I just double click on it. And maybe I want to go free estimates. Okay. And that's it. And when I want to have this email it to me, I just click on it again. And you'll see the settings. Click form settings. And over here, you can determine how it's sent to you. Okay, the settings, name, email notifications, submit message, what it says after it submits. Okay, all this kind of good stuff, main, everything that's involved with it. Okay, now this button down here, submit button. Again, shows visitors form, the success. Even send them to another website if you want. You can enter what it says after it. It says thanks for submitting. Things like that. All of that's available in this. And you can even change the colors of this by simply going into the settings for the form. Okay. So everything is in here. Email notifications. And there's my email address. Of course, that's what it sends to me because I've already programmed it. So when somebody fills out this form, it's automatically going to send me an email. Okay. And you can change, the colors you see, you can make this color the same as the background to blend in if you want. All of it, this is layouts. Okay, it shows you the different layouts and the way it can be laid out. How about design? Design lets you change, well, maybe I want it to look like that. Maybe that's better. Or maybe I want it to be this color. Or maybe and look at all the choices, and I can customize any one of them. So maybe I just want to do that. Or maybe I even like that. How about that? Whatever I want it to be, and I can change the background colors, all that I want as well on this. Okay? So it's pretty simple to create, but every electrician or owner of a company should have a website. Up here, for example, I just keep adding things here. Let's say I want to move this a little bit to the right. And let's see here, I'll make this smaller because I don't have a bunch of stuff up here. And I don't like that that's entitled new page. We want that to be, say, estimates, right? So I click on, so here I'm at, that's matter of the name of the page. See, the name of the page says new page. So I want to go over here and rename it. And I'm going to call that estimates. Maybe I'll just say free estimates. Maybe that's better. And there. And so now that's forever in there, and that's what it'll look like on my main page. Or maybe I don't like maybe I want the Paul Abernathy to be a little bigger. Because everybody says I'm kind of got a big old ego anyway. So let's see, I'll just make that bigger. And let's see here. I will just stretch this out so that everything's out. And maybe I want the electrical to be, maybe I don't like it right there. Maybe I want it on the next line. And maybe I don't, maybe it's not about me. It's electrical contracting. So I just do contracting. Okay, so electrical contracting. And maybe I don't like those colors. Okay, all right, well, I can change anything I want. I want this to actually rather have this red. Okay, well, go down here and choose red. And I can change any of the typeset that I want. Now let's go to a preview. And this is what it looks like online. And when I want to go back to the home, they click that. And it'll take me back to the home. I can remove any space in here to kind of cramp it back together. So for those that are listening to the podcast, I'm sorry tonight, it can't do you justice on a podcast. I realize that this whole concept of Electrician Live was started because of a podcast, but this is kind of a visual thing. You really need to go over and watch the video over on youtube.com/master the NEC to get an understanding of what we're doing here. All right, so let's go back to the editor. And I'm thinking, wow, there's too much space in here. It pushes it down the screen. So I grab this, and I'll take this and put it right here. And then I'll take this bar, and I'll move it up. Just like that. So then it kind of brings it up a little bit. All right. And let's say I want to add some different text or whatever. Again, you can click right here on Add and add images. Let's see what they've got as far as free images. Let's go here. Let's click on free images and see what they've got. Okay, let's see if they have anything. I doubt it, but electrical. I doubt they have anything electrical. Ah, well, be surprised. They got a little bit of something that might work. More electronic, really, than electrical, but hey, there's some stuff there anyway. So maybe I'm going to put this on there. So I'm going to add this to my site. So maybe I'm going to take that and I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to move it somewhere. And see how I move it down? The screen actually moves down. So it allows me to have somewhere to place it. So maybe I'm going to put that on there. Maybe I'll put that right there. I don't know why, but I'm going to put it right there. And so, again, I don't need these. So I click on it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want to take that and move that up there. And do something like that. So anyway, you can see that you can move things anywhere that you want it to be, okay, at any position on the screen. You want to stay within these walls, so this side over here and this side, because this is what it looks like to do it. Now, for those that don't want the little banner, and I'll show you what it looks like again, if you don't want this little banner right here on the top of your published page, then it's only about, I can't remember, I want to think it's about $150 or $200 for an entire year, which is cheap if you want to get rid of it. But there's really no need for you to get rid of it. Now, I'll show you what it looks like when it's on a website. So I'll go to my website. Let's see here, Abernathy Electrical Services.com. And you'll see that it simply puts a little banner at the top of the page. And I really don't care about it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother people that visit my site and things like that. So all the stuff that's on here, this is a simple one page. Get a quote right here, fill it in, and all this type of things. And you see, all I did was drop a box in here. This is all just text. These are buttons that I added, just like you saw us add buttons. And this is a graphic I uploaded, and it's my Texas license number. And so all of that stuff, contact here. I click Contact Us, and it goes right here, and they can fill in this information and put in their email address and everything, and it will get right in touch with me. Okay? Just that simple to create. Now, let's go back to the editor. So I really can't show you justice all the things that are in here, but there's media in here, little media clips. You can even add other stuff in here like stores if you want to have like selling items on it. But generally you can add video. Like here's where I would embed a YouTube video. So I click YouTube video and it embeds a YouTube video right into it here. And you can move this on. Maybe you have a page that you want just videos. You can put your videos on it, kind of like what I do on my site. So you see how easy this is to drag and drop anywhere. If you don't like it, click on it, backspace, it's gone. Once you publish it, it's gone. It puts it up on the internet, and you get to pick the name that you want the site to be. Okay. So in the settings here, you've got all the different settings. You got My Dashboard, and that takes you back, and you'll see when you click your dashboard, that it'll take you back to, this is the My Site, and here's what it looks like. See, abernathypaul.wixsite.com/my site. Well, you can change this, okay? So, and if you want to create a new one, you can even create another site. There's no limit to the number of sites. You want to rename the site is what I'm talking about. So I'll click that and see where it says My Site. Maybe you want to put Bob Electrical Service. If that's who you are. And you see that you click save. And once you click it, okay, it's going to change it. And you'll see here in just a second that it's now Bob's Electrical Service. And it gives you a kind of a picture of what it looks like. And every time you log back in, you'll have a choice to edit your site, view the live site. So if I click live, view live site, this is the one that we've been creating the whole time. Okay. Now, the reason this doesn't say Bob yet is because I haven't published the other one with the new domain, okay, the new name. I didn't publish that yet. So this was the one we had been working on. This was the last one that we actually published before we made all those other changes, okay? That's the one that's on the internet right now. You click My Resume, and it'll go to that page where the resume information was, services. If you remember, this is the one that we created with the shirt on it and all the other stuff. So it's all live right now, and you can share it. It'll have, when you create your account, it'll have your name.wixsite.com / and then you just pick whatever you want your site to be named. Okay? It's just that simple. All right, so that's that one there. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was what happens when you create your website. It really is easy, Ronbo. It really is just click and drop and click and drop. But after you get your website, you might be saying to yourself, okay, but I want to be more custom. I want my domain to be more customized, if you will, have a little bit more of a, kind of personal flair, if you will. Okay. Well, for example, if you don't want the yourname.wixsite.com / whatever you make your site as, you want to now do something more customized. You want it to be your company website, or you might want a domain. And you're going to find out domains are not expensive. And I'm going to give you the best site to get your domain. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Once you get your domain, you can point it to your free Wix site. And it's no cost in that. But to get to the domain, I'm going to show you how cheap and easy it is to get a domain. Now watch this. I'll go back to the browser. Now you created your website. Very simple, drop and click. There's a lot more templates available as well. So you can even get one, like I did the handyman one, that already has all of the stuff that's built into it already. For example, right here, create a new site. Let me just show you real quick because I want you to see this. All right, so let's just go to other, choose a template. And let's say for those that are over listening on the podcast, we're just whipping through here. And I want to do, let's do construction. Okay, so I've got some options here. Here's some construction stuff here. There's actually a bunch of pages. Let's see if one of them fits our fancy. All right, here's the handyman. All right, that's not necessarily an electrician one, but it's not so far off that I can't add some stuff to make it kind of electrified, if you will. Add a little bit of flavor to it. And again, it is literally for electricians and people, it's just a drop and click. If you're paying a lot of money for a website, if you're a big corporation, that's fine. If you want it to look very professional, but this looks professional and you can create it. And so all of these can be changed to your flavor. But this one's pretty much set up, and you can change this picture if you don't like this guy. Get a picture of you there. Get a good picture of you standing there with your tools or something like that. Or better yet, let's do this. Let's go to the internet. Watch this. Okay. Let's see if it'll work for me. Electrician. Just to electrician man. And I'll go to images. All right, we got this guy here. He looks like an electrician, doesn't he? Let's see here. Let's find a good electrician that we want to use. Yeah, let's go to this guy. This guy right here, he's a Mr. Sparky. Now, be careful of the images. I use the images that you can get for free everywhere, or I pay for my images, or I buy my images. So just be aware of wherever you get your images. I'm recommending you use one of you because it's about you. But there are lots of free sites that you can get images and graphics that are free. So just look for that or use your own pictures. So in this case, I will just, let's see here. Let's save this image just for our examples here. And I will save it to photos, and I will call it, easy this is. All right, and I will save it to pictures. Okay, now I'm back here. So I don't like this guy. I'm going to double click on him. Hold on for a second. Let me move down a little bit. Hold on here. I don't know. There we go. I don't know what I was on. So I took this guy right here. I want to change this image. So now I need to upload an image. So I'm going to click, simply follow the screen, and I'm in pictures, and we had downloaded this electrical guy. So I'm going to upload him. And you don't have to be real savvy. It's really just read the screens and click. Now, once it's there, I'm going to choose this image, and there he is. And I'll move him a little bit to the left. And see how he's behind it? You can choose the layers. Okay, here's the different thing where it talks about filters and all this kind of stuff where you can do the layering. All right, so I'm putting him here, and actually I'll move him a little more right here to the right. Okay, so I made it a little more electrical that quick. All right, now I don't like this here, the handyman. Okay, I don't like that. So I'm going to put the handy. Let's do Sparky guy. So I'm going to, I can hear the comments now. All right, so now I'm going to change this to that because I like a little bit of, well, actually, yeah, that's better. Change it to that. And I kind of like that roof thing. I'm going to leave that the way it is. I kind of like that phrase. That's not a big deal for me. So you can change your phone number up here. And okay, and all this text is just placeholder text. You put what you want there. Now, when you get down to here, you don't need all these if you don't want. They kind of a little blurb about your services. Well, we don't have all these things. So you can remove them. That's a tool. You can get rid of that. Okay. And you use generic. This is screwdriver's fine. Hammer's fine. This is electrical screwdriver, electric screwdriver. It's fine. Or you can even get your own little images here. Say I wanted to get rid of, I didn't like this image for the, well, let's do the electrical. Say I didn't like that image. I'm going to change that image. And let's see. Okay, well, I don't like, I don't want to use that guy again. So I can go, well, what other images do I want? Well, I can search for it online like we just did. Or I can see if there's anything on here. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any other images or whatever I could put in here. Let's see here. No, I didn't like any of those. Don't like any of these images either. All right, let's go with this one. I'll put this one in there. All right, now these are for sale. You want to buy these. Those are from Shutterstock. I know there's plenty of free ones out there, free images that you can download. But just for this explanation here, I'll just go like this, and you'll see that you can store them from anywhere. Okay, and I'll just go on my computer and pick get an icon and stick it in there just so you can see what we're talking about. Let's see here. So if I wanted to stick an icon in there, let's just go with. Let's go with that little transparent mic. Good enough. And it's uploading it up. And I'm going to choose to add it. And there's the mic. And I might say, well, I don't like the look of that. I need to reset image. And now it'll reset it to a smaller mic. And I might do that and put it right there. So you can get images anywhere online for free. You just have to look for them. And maybe I'll do an episode of that one day that shows you some of the resources that I use. But anyway, this is looking pretty good. You can put your number here. A lot of people be very happy with that, especially if you've got no website. If you already have no website, then this is pretty easy. Okay. So you can, well, hold on. Something caught my eye. Ronbo says, I'm a pretty man. I'll make my own. Okay. Well, yeah, you can. So yeah, he's probably had a manicure. He doesn't look like he's really the electricians I know. But anyway, so what I wanted to point out was it's already made for you. Everything's pretty much there. Now you get to customize each page. So what about this service page? What does it look like? Well, you go up here and you click services. And it keeps your heading the same, but here it goes into more detail about your services. Now, what I would do as an electrician, I would change each one of these by clicking on it and do like rough in, final, any little services that I do, I would customize these and put a little bit of a verbiage about what I do for each one of those services. And you don't have to have all of these. You can get rid of them if you want. Okay, like let's say I don't have the need for this one. Right, so I can click on that, I get rid of it. I click on this, I get rid of it. If I click right here and do this, I can get rid of both of them. If I click right here and hold the left mouse key and I drag it over this, then I can grab the whole thing and move it over here and line it up with the row below. There you go. And so I can use whatever I want, logos, and I'm telling you right now, you can find any little gadget, graphic, a GIF, or a little on the internet for free. And if you're really interested in that, I can do a show on, if you start getting into making your website, I can do one that shows you all the little things that you can get for free online and where you can get them and all that kind of stuff. But real quick, let's end this thing up by going over, and now I want to show you what you do. Now, you created your website. You saw how quickly that was. Just click, 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 change some stuff that's there, that type of thing. Anything you see there, boxes, can all be added right there on the fly, okay? All right, now, one thing I did notice is I look like I have jaundice. So hold on here. All right, so the next thing is about that domain we were talking about. I want it to be my own domain. I want it to be unique, and I don't want to have abernathypaul.wexsite.com. I don't want it / whatever I name it. I want it to be my own thing. Okay, so here's what we would do. Now, we'd go over to a site called Hoover, HOVER.com. Okay, HOVER.com. Sign up for an account. And when you sign up for an account, all right, just to give you an idea, these are all my domains. Okay, all the different domains that I own are all right here. Okay, there's the Electrician Brotherhood, Electrician Live. There's the Electrician Pride, everything that I have right here. Master Electrician, Master the NEC, Mastering the NEC, NECexamprep.com is mine. ElectricalCodeWizard.com is mine. All of these are my domains. Okay, so I pay quite a bit for my domains, but check it out. Here's how free it is. Check this out. I can click Find a Domain, and let's do Bob'sElectricalService.com. Click Search. Now, what it's going to do is tell you and bring it back what's available. Actually, check this out. Bob'sElectricalService.com is available for $12.99. Look, folks, you can get a domain customized for $12.99. You get a free website, okay? And what you do is, be creative, whatever electrical company name is, you could see if it's available. If it's not available, I can promise you something. It will be available in one of the other offerings like .org or .net, or any of these are available, okay? I'd stay away from the $499 ones, okay? But most of the people will recognize .coms, .net, or .org, okay? And so you simply add it to your cart, and then you check out, and you can pay with PayPal if you want to be secure, whatever. For example, I can go here and go, let's see, National Electrical Code Wizard, and just leave it no.com. Just put that in there. Now, it says nationalelectricalcodewizard.com is available for $12.99. Now, once you get your domain, and you got .org's available, .net's available for $15.49 a year. And so that's for a year, although you can do more than 1 year. I usually just do mine a year. Some domains I have, I do for 5 years. But anyway, doesn't matter. Now, once you get your domain, okay, once you have them, let me show you what you do. So let's take these domains right here. Let's just look at mastering the NEC. So I'm going to click on it. Once you have it in here, you'll notice that this one, for example, renew date is 2020 December. Okay, I've had this one since 2017. Now see how I have it forwarding? You can click and create a forward, and when anybody types your domain, masteringthenec.com, it will send it to whatever website you want it to go to. Right now I have it going to electricalcodeacademy.net, but I could actually have it sent to my Wix page that's for free. And when anybody clicks, you can advertise masteringthenec.com, or whatever your domain is. And when they type it, it will point to your Wix page. So the Wix page will be what comes up on the screen. Okay, so that's called forwarding. All right. Now they will see your domain, but really, they will see your new Wix account. But who cares? We're just trying to get them. That's why it's important to name your Wix account after your company or after your name, so that people can recognize it with your name. All right. Other than that, who really cares? You know what I'm saying? It's just about forwarding. So here's your forwards, and you see that one's where that one happens to forward, but I can edit that and put anything that I want in there. Okay. And so that's just an easy way to be able to create your forwarding. So you create your website on Wix.com. Don't make it complicated. GoDaddy, then you got to find templates and buy stuff and do it. Why? If you want to pay somebody to make your website, that's fine. But if you don't have a website now, then it probably means you didn't want to pay somebody to do it. And it is really can be fun. You just need some of your pictures of your work maybe, and be able to put some information on the screen and get it and publish it. And then once it's published, you can share that entire URL if you want, or you can go to Hoover and get you a domain for $12 a year, $13 pays for itself many times over, and you can have it forward to your new Wix account. Just that simple. And at the end of the day, you're out for a whole year of hosting and a domain. You're out, what was that, $12.99? That's it. It cost you $12.99. Now, I said if it was free, then you just use the domain in order to do that. Just use the Abernathy, or in my case, abernathypaul.wixsite.com / and then, of course, whatever you named your site. That is free. That wouldn't cost you a dime. But if you want to customize it and create your own, be willing to spend $12.99 to create your domain. Then you own that domain. And then because it's a hoover.com account, you can forward that domain to go anywhere you want. That way you get to advertise your own custom URL. Maybe you want to get a URL, www.superdupermasterelectrician.com, and that's what you want to promote on your business cards. That's what you want to, whatever. You control. Now, here's the other beauty of Hoover. If you decide you want to go somewhere else and leave Wix or something like that, then you can forward it to wherever you go after that. And your domain gets to stay, and you're not going to get them any cheaper than you can over at Hoover. All right? There's just no way you're going to get them any cheaper than hover.com for those domains, and you own them for a year, and you renew them at the end of each year if you want to keep it going. Okay? It's really, really easy to do. Okay? So, anyway, that's it for, I'll hang around in the video stream to answer some questions, but those that are over on the podcast, I'm going to end the podcast. Hopefully you were able to follow along. I know it's hard to do on a podcast, but I'm going to remind you, jump on over and visit our youtube.com / master the NEC, and you'll be able to watch the video itself. So for those on the video stream, stay tuned. For those that are on the podcast, switch on over to our YouTube channel. You've been listening to Electrician Live with your host, Paul Abernathy. All right. So here we are back to video stream, guys. And for those, I'm trying to catch up on some questions tonight that watched us on the video here at the YouTube channel. Let's see. Let's see here. Danny. Yes, you could use that to link to your license. You could upload your license and somebody click on a button. You just simply add a button. You can link to anything. You do not have to have a business license. In fact, you could put it up there as it's just your resume page. And so it's got a picture of you, that type of thing. Now, if you're putting it up there as an electrician, you're soliciting work, and you don't have a license as a contractor, then you can be there. That's going to be a problem because you got to be licensed to do work. Okay. But nothing says that you can't put you up there and display what you do and your skills. And I tell people you can use it's a wonderful tool as a resume, a living resume, okay, to put it up there. All right. And so then if you're going to apply for a job, you can put that on your a card or whatever and give it to them and say, my resume is online. It even can download my resume, and you get to share that everywhere. Okay, with anybody to do that. But you don't have to, when you're dealing with commerce, that's different. If you're going to take money, then you have to have a business license, and you obviously have to pay the taxes for that income that comes in. Electrical Code Academy pays a healthy share of taxes. So the corporation is actually the umbrella corporation over all of these subdivisions that I have under the corporation, which is the Electrical Code Academy, Inc. is the parent company. Then I have Abernathy Electrical Services underneath that. And everything's Certified Master Electrical Code Professional Program is underneath that. And all of it funnels through Electrical Code Academy Incorporated. Rambo, it really is as easy as it looks. Believe it or not, in order to create a website. What you see and what you want on there, you simply put it and drop it on there, and that's simply it. It couldn't get any simpler than that. Everybody needs, and if you're at a company, then you should have a website, okay? That type of thing. If you all should have a website. If you're an electrician, I believe that you should have a resume page website with your picture, your skills, your services, and things like that on there. Especially if you're hunting for a job, okay? But every electrical contractor should have its own website. If you do not have a website, you're just missing out because you're missing an opportunity to advertise. Let's see. It says, it won't let me post the name of mine. What you need is the name. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Rambo. I don't know if you're saying you already went and got a Wix account. That you can. Yes, it is very easy to put the videos on there. Like I said, it has a template. You already click it, and it's exactly how I add my videos to my website's video page. I just use the YouTube template, and then I put in the address to the YouTube channel, to the whatever the video is, right in there, and it loads it up. In fact, on my Electrician Live that I streamed this from the website, I use that template that's inside of the Wix to simply put it in there and then drop the key in there, and it just puts it there right away. It's really just that simple. Years ago, I know how to program HTML. I know how to write dynamic HTML. And a little bit of Perl, but I found that it was pointless. It was really pointless to do that with this, and has all the features that are built into it, all the little things that you can add. It has a lot of apps as well that add into the site that are already built into it, so you don't really have to do it. It becomes a no-brainer. Now, you also have to, again, as you have to have everything that you need to have, insurances and all that kind of thing. So, Danny, you'd have to check that with the state. But in my state, you can't do electrical work, even if you're a master electrician. You have to have a business license. So I have a business license, And then the business license has to have a master on record. If you're doing work, and you're not a licensed electrical contractor, it doesn't matter if you're a master electrician. At least that's how this state works. Every state's different. Do that on your own. Don't want anybody to say Paul said you could put a website up there and start doing business, because no, you need to check with your own state. But most of the time, there's a difference between electrical contractor and the licensed electrician. The electrician is the one that does the work. The electrical contractor is the one that has the electricians that work for them. It might be just you, but I want to make sure they get their money. So you're going to have a business license. Oh, okay. It won't let you post it, and it won't let you post in the chat. Probably won't, because it doesn't allow people to post links in case somebody clicked on something and it was like trying to send them somewhere. So it's all a protection thing. So they probably won't let you do that. So most people will do this by actually writing the name out, and then instead of putting .com, they'll write the name out, and then they'll put in parentheses in it .dot for dot, and then they'll put the com after the end or something like that. So can you set up any keywords that will refer people that are searching for electrical work on your website? You can do, it's called a web search on your website, but if you're asking if people can search on this site, you can actually do, whereas you're actually doing SEO, search engine optimization, directly into the actual creating the pages. You can go right into the SEO. For example, I don't think I showed it, but right here, for example, when we were making this site right here, if I was editing this site, let me shut some of these down here. Well, we can do, hold on, let's do this one. We were doing this one. So on this one here, if I wanted to search engine optimization on this, then you see here the pages. I go to the home, I do manage pages, and here under the home, I click this, and you see where it says CEO Google. I click on that, and it allows me to search engine, change the URL with this, the last part of it, what it says. See, here's what it looks like. Your site name. We haven't named this one yet, but it would be your name and then whatever you name your site. And right now we haven't really named this site yet. Okay, so you can change and add information, and there's advanced, and here's where you can put meta tags. Here's where the site name would be. Okay, and everything that's in here, and I can do this, and that's called search engine optimization. All of that's built into here. Okay, it's all part of it. You're not paying anything extra for it. It's all built into it. And it take you a little time, okay? But again, you see I made that one pretty quick. The Sparky guy and the little dude, put him up there, and you can use any picture you want. You can all use Ronbo because he's, I don't remember what it said, but I think somebody said he was sexy. What is this, a girlfriend? You can put whatever you want up there. And so it's just that simple to create stuff. And there's so many boxes and templates and things you can drop in. You just should play around with it. Okay. So at any rate, that's kind of how simple it was. So I'd kind of give you an overview of how it looks. But let's see here. If I go back to here, so you've got the About button. So again, each one of these have their own unique piece in it. So here's the About button that you can type in. You got to say a little bit about yourself. This is just there to hold it in place. Okay, that's all this is. Now, it even has a unique feature that here it's a chat setting. That if somebody's on your website, they can chat directly with you. I got rid of it because people email me enough, and the chat feature, people were just all times of the day and night were sending little chat things to me. So I just couldn't do it. But here in the about, I can change this image on the fly. If I want to do this image, just say, and I don't like that, so I can rescale it. Put that in place. And you need some nice little shadow down here, and move this over here if I want to be a little closer. And literally in a second, that has been created. And you can use any graphic that you want right there. And it really is just move it, click it, drop it, click it, and you can change all the parameters. You play with it a little bit, you'll get used to it. It's pretty simple. Let's see here. Let me answer some questions real quick. Can you set up any keywords? So you can do keyword search within your, let me show you that real quick. So in here, one of the features here is add, and you see there's a bunch of stuff down here. Okay, different things that you can add to this interactive, hover boxes, buttons. I think there's a search feature in here somewhere if I can find it. Let's click on more. And let's see here. Let's see also there's a lot of these little icons for, you got maps. If you have a map of where you're at, it'll actually pull up the map of the city where you are. Things like that. I'm just trying to see events, anchor buttons. Here's where y'all probably familiar, with our, PayPal purchases and Wix chat. Here's where you can embed HTML frames. Here's a Wix site search. Let visitors search your site. So I'll click on that. Now, hold on for a second. Let it optimizing and find what it's looking for. In fact, I haven't really finished out the page, but I just want to show you what it'll do. It'll do a search result. And let's just move this right here. So it's already populates with some information on here that you can change. Obviously, see, I can click on this and change any of this that I want. But let's do a search here. I don't know even know what to search for. So I'll click preview. I don't even know what it'll find. So these things right here are pulling it because I haven't put any content up on my site. Okay. This is all just like happy children. This is stuff that it's pulling, but it's not pulling from my site because I haven't set up my site and I haven't published this site yet. So it's actually pulling this information from its own database in the site because I haven't uploaded this site yet. Okay, nothing's been published on this site. But as you can see, you can add your own search, and these are all different pages, my product pages. All this is within the database. These are all just samples that are built into the data. But see, when I publish it, once you're online, then it will search your pages when you're online. Okay? So, now, be careful, Jeff, what you're asking. Because it sounds like you're saying if people are on the internet and they search and your website pops up. It ain't that easy. This is a search within your own material, so people could search through your material. Like if I added this to my website, people could search and find all of my postings and things like that within the site. In order for you to be found on the internet, then you have to advertise your site, submit it to search engines, and that's a little more. Once you get listed on some engines, then your site will get spidered in and you'll start to find it. But there's no better way at this time than to promote it yourself locally on your business cards. It should be on every business card. As y'all can see with my business cards, I have a QR code that links to my website. I have my websites on the front of this card. And I actually have my website across the bottom of the card, as you can see right there. That's the best way to promote it on your card to get people to your website. That way you don't have to say a whole lot on your card, but you prominently place your website on there and then you give your card. So that's all part of our marketing thing. Okay? You can say a whole bunch more on a website than you can on a card, right? So easier to just get them to the website. Now you'll see that created a search result page, which is when somebody searches, that's what they'll go to. Right? So, and then, of course, this was my welcome page. And you had services, testimonials, about, and whatnot. So this page wouldn't take me very long to create a company website. And I can change the colors, do whatever I wanted to do on this. So let me do this real quick. And I'll show you guys one of my pages, how quickly I did it real quick. And let me get rid of this, because I don't need it. And here's the Bob one that we created a minute ago while I was on the stream. We'll get rid of that one. All right, so for example, this one here, the Surge Pro. So this is one of my local ones as well here in my area. All right, and so I'll show you guys what it kind of looks like. You see here, it's just, I named it the Surge Pro, and it's my abernathypaul.wixsite.com, and then it's Surge Pro. That's the name of the title. And then I'll go to edit site and kind of show you all what I do with this. This is a very simple one. And unless you offer a bunch of stuff, it's simple is best. And I'll show you what I did here. So here's what I did. See, I put, remember that house? I put the Surge Pro on it. The smallest surges can do the most damage. Division of Electrical Code Academy and Abernathy Electrical Services. So this is just another division. This is one where we put in surge protected devices and smart devices, switches, three-ways, and things like that. And you'll see some stuff on here. And we talk about the 2020 code and the change of requirements for surge protection. And you see where I changed these. And I used things that are just more relevant. Whole house, point of use, smart home, and electrical minor repairs, and testimonials from, we took some pictures, from, and this was a while back, from some work we did here in the area, and we put it on here. And services, so if I preview it, I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is, services, see how these light up? Services, goes to services. Got our information, license number, everything on it. Go to testimonials. Okay, some testimonials here. Go to about. And there's me. And it gives a bit of me on here. Some of my licenses, certifications, some of the stuff that I have, and company and everything, and then contact us. Drop us a line. It's our address, areas that we cover. Fill it in, submit it, and we'll get in touch with you. Okay, so it really is simple. Okay, chat with us. You click on this, then they can type a message and talk to me directly, and it'll come up on my phone if they talk to me that way. Okay, they're interested. So that's what that, and that one didn't take very long at all, because all I did was drop some pictures in here. These are some of the devices that we use, and I just dropped them in here. And it didn't take very long at all to create it. And you see that I used that handyman template. See the colors? Everything's exactly the same. Now here's what it looks like on a mobile. So I already know what it's going to look like on the mobile, because I can move things around so that it looks better on a mobile. So there you go. Just like that. It's already adapted for use on a mobile phone. And it's just real simple. You can add things as well if you want, or take away. See, I have some hidden elements. I hid my logo to the CMECP, and then I hid a line in there because it really took up too much space. Okay? It wasn't necessary, needed all that for the mobile. Okay? So when I want to go back to the desk view, see the desk view. So again, just real simple designs. That's it. And it doesn't take long to create it. and you only need a couple pages if it's for your company. And you can make it as deep as you want. If we were to look at my Master the NEC one, you're going to see dozens of pages, and it really gets deep because that's one of my original ones. And it's just, it could be as big or as small as you want it to be. Okay. Well, good luck with that one, Ronbo. Not in Texas. Interesting enough, you have to follow the state's rules, but there's no inspections out in the counties. There are in the cities, so people are probably not pulling permits anyway out in the counties because you wouldn't have anybody to pull permits from. So it's not that it doesn't take place. It obviously does out in our counties, but in the cities, they're going to make you be a licensed contractor. And in the state of Texas, for example, you still got to have a state license to do it, even if the locality doesn't require permitting. You have to do it with the state. In fact, funny we should be talking about that, is that I have got this right here from the state of Texas that came, I guess, the other day. And I think this one was for, yeah. So this is my license for being a provider in the state of Texas. Electrical Code Academy, Inc. provider license for continuing education and things like that. But I have also the license for the contracting business. And, of course, the insurances as well. You got to have insurance and all that good stuff to do any work. I wouldn't do any work without insurance today. Everybody's too happy that I wouldn't do it without insurance. Anyway, not anything else I can add on creating websites because they are really just that simple. Hopefully you got something out of it. And it's just real easy to create. But again, go to Wix, Wix.com, get yourself a free account. Be cautious of how you name it because you want it to be named kind of focused on your business, or you get your account with your name. But then when you make the site, make sure that you pick a name for your company. But when you get signed up for it, just use your name. So it'll be whatever your name is, .wixsite.com, and then / and then whatever you name your site that you're building. And be able to do it that way. And you can have multiples. And if you get really good and you want to get rid of the banner at the top, then you can pay and have a professional site, and you can do sales there and get money. And you can still do that anyway if you have a license to be able to do that, or business license and everything. Because, again, I do everything through PayPal because of that protection factor. Obviously, we have Square and all this stuff when we go out and on doing calls and stuff. But when it comes to online stuff, everything's through PayPal, protects everybody involved. So I like PayPal a lot. And the buttons for PayPal are built into Wix anyway. Okay. And there's so many other things in Wix that are built into it that you can add to your site, chat forums, and just endless, however you wanted to make it. But I keep it pretty simple, straightforward. So anyway, hopefully you got something out of that, and you'll think about creating your own website, doing something with your website. At any rate, also I should announce for those that are left now that there's only 9 left in the room, I'm going to be giving away subscriptions to our 2020 NEC Code Change newsletter. And so stay tuned for that. I probably will not have an exam prep show this week during the week because I'm on the road. So I have to travel. I have to leave tomorrow. I'm teaching in North Carolina, and I have to do 2 days in North Carolina. Then I'm going to go down to Georgia, and I have to teach in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I got to fly from Atlanta, Georgia. Then I got to fly up to Ohio, and I'm teaching all day in Ohio. 2 classes, which you could attend if you're in Ohio. And that is on, trying to see what hold on here, what day that would be. I believe that's the 12th, March 12th. I'm actually going to be in Ohio. So I'm going to be gone the whole week, traveling back and forth, teaching classes to engineers and electricians and whatnot. So I probably won't have anything this week. I doubt it. So good luck to anybody taking their exam. Again, you can email me if you need anything. But that's going to be it. So thank y'all. Have a great week, and hopefully you got something out of it. And create your own websites. Every electrical company needs a website. Every electrician needs a site, especially if you're looking for a job. If you already have a job, but if you're looking for a job, what better than have an actual living, breathing website with all of your information and a downloadable resume and maybe some pictures of work you've done or whatever. It's awesome. Okay. No, in this case, I'm doing it for Encore Wire. So the reps set up with engineering firms, and I come in and I teach the engineering firms. But when it comes to like the ones that I do for like the one in the morning and evening on the 12th in Ohio from Mars Electric Supply, typically when somebody hires me, they contact us, and it can be, it really doesn't make it. Sometimes the companies do it when they want somebody to come in and teach it. The company or distributor of electrical supply house will hire. Some cases, if it's not the fire marshal's office or the state, but maybe like a electrical inspector group will bring me in, things like that. Just depends. Sometimes it's maybe like a conference, and I'll speak for a conference and things like that. So different ones. Yeah. So sometimes, Nick, sometimes the states do that, have me come in for the inspectors. And things like that, depending on where it's at. One neat way to get me there almost, believe it or not, for almost free is to have the electrical contractor or somebody in that area contact an Encore Wire rep in that area. You can go to the EncoreWire.com website and tell them that they want to have me come and do training in that area. But then they're going to want you to promote you using Encore Wire. So if it's just to have me, then typically they would reach out to us and we would come. Last big one I did was for the University of, I think it was Minnesota. I did 2 days down there, and that was paid for by the university. So be honest with you, anybody can hire you. It just depends on, if they can hire you or not. I'm not overly expensive, but I'm not the cheapest educator out there. So, that type of thing. Quick time. I don't have any weekend seminars anywhere scheduled. Most of my stuff's either during the week, but again, companies hire me to do whatever, come and teach code updates. But I do inspector groups as well, depending on where it is, if it's, But other than that, let's just say I'm usually for a hire, and all that information is available on our website, masterthenec.com. Go over to the services link, click on the services, and you'll see all of the services, and there's all the information about teaching and what we charge and all this stuff and how to get in touch with us is all there. So over on masterthenec.com, services button. In fact, I'll show you. So this is just my website. Let me shut all these down real quick, because they're just me playing. All right, so for example, so you see here, very familiar. A lot of these tools are just easy Wix tools. all of our programs, all of our courses, all of our newsletters. Here's a live webinar. Gosh, I haven't updated. That was back in 2019. I better update that. That was a webinar I did on primary, secondary protection. Okay. So I do webinars from time to time, but I haven't done that one in a while. But you can see under services here, that's the update series, tutoring, and then of course we create graphics as well. And then of course you have contact us, and then there's a founder page about me. And you click on the services button. Okay, you click on the services, not the drop downs, but on services. Probably not real intuitive there. And here's the on-site seminars, and this is obviously what our rate is. Okay, and exam prep, obviously, and then this is where we do consulting, and this is the graphics, and this is an online continuing education and our partner. And then, of course, municipal code. Municipalities, contact us for pricing, okay? Because we do it to jurisdictions as well. If they need that training, we will do it. So, any rate, I got to go. Got to be up early. Got to head out of town. So, I appreciate all of you. Sorry we didn't get... Oh, wait a minute. I remember something in here that somebody had asked. Quick time, does anyone bond the meter panel to the gas? Okay, if the gas line is likely to become energized, then you're going to have to bond it. Okay, but you only size the conductor that bonds it based on the size of the circuit that's likely to energize it. Other than that, you're just bonding it. So jurisdictions, some don't want you to bond the gas line. Okay, now, if we're talking about CSST, which is corrugated stainless steel tubing, then the National Electrical Code says it's already bonded in 250.104. If you've got appliance that has power there already, with a circuit already that has an equipment ground there, then it's done. However, the manufacturers of the CSST want you to actually bond it at the manifold or outside at the black pipe before it comes in the building. Then they'll give you instructions on how to do that. That's under the gas code. That's not under really the National Electrical Code. The National Electrical Code pretty much thinks that it's done when you actually run the circuit that's likely to energize it. Let me give you an example. If I have a water heater, it's a gas water heater, but it has an electric ignition. And if it has an electric ignition and it has a circuit like a 15 amp circuit feeding it, okay? That typically will have a 14 gauge equipment ground, right? That is all. Not only is it an equipment grounding conductor, but it's also a bonding conductor. Once it goes to that equipment, as far as an electrician's concerned, when I make that connection there, all that becomes intimate at the actual piece of equipment. That's really the only place that anything is likely to energize that gas line is right there, because that's where there's electricity there. If that's the case, 250.104 says that equipment grounding conductor is fine. But if it's CSST piping and it comes in the house and it changes over from black steel into the house, many of the manufacturers of the CSST products are going to want you to have to bond it with a 6 gauge all the way over to the point where it's just outside of the building or to the manifold. Follow the instructions of whatever the manufacturers of the CSST want you to do, okay? And let that be your guide for that. Other than that, regular gas lines that are metal in there, only bond it when it's likely to become energized. That's it. Any other time, it's not required to bond it. Did that answer your question? Hope so. I might as well say this. I've been seeing a lot of there's been a lot of podcasts out there, and people are talking about code changes, 2020 code changes, and they clearly have no idea what's really changing in the 2020 code. And they're saying stuff that is not accurate. So be very careful of where you get your information from. I'm just saying. Read it yourself. that type of thing. Now, I'm going to be doing some free giveaways on my newsletters, but that's going to be a giveaway that's not based on answering questions here. That's something we'll be doing through our website. That we'll be doing the 2020 changes, that type of thing. And I'm also probably going to do a 2020 top 10 or top 20 code changes here soon that we'll be streaming, where I'll do that as well. That'll just be a special event that I'll do, like one of my webinars where I do the webinar. And we'll do it that way. So anyway, that's some things we got coming down the pike, if we will. So anywho, thank you all for visiting. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody came in last minute with a question here. Let's see. What is the minimum distance for one grounding electroconductor? What do you mean the minimum distance? You gotta be more specific. So if we're talking about grounding electrodes being, for example, a ground rod, then it has to be at least 6 feet from another electrode. Typically, other electrodes have to be spaced because of what's called this cone of influence. So I'm not sure the minimum distance for one ground rod, one grounding electrode conductor. I'm not sure your question. Going to have to be a little more specific than that. When you say there isn't any distance anymore, you can run that grounding electroconductor as long as you want, although keep it short as practical, but there isn't anything that tells you the distance, that the minimum distance that it has to be anymore. You simply just go to wherever the electrode is. If it's a ground rod, it's driven in the ground, 8 feet and driven in the ground. If that doesn't work, you try the 45. That doesn't work, then you dig a trench and you lay it in the trench. Remember that you no longer can just do one. You have to do two up front. And if it's not 25 ohms or less, okay, then you do the two. You leave it at 2. If you can show that it's less than 25 ohms or 25 or less, then you can remove one away and you can go with 1. Most people aren't going to go through that. They're just going to put 2. Those are the only things that have the requirement to be the 25 ohms, rod, pipe, plate type of scenarios, or rod and pipes. But when you actually go to things like UFERs and things like that, water pipe ground, which water pipe has to always be supplemented anyway, then the 25 ohms only doesn't come into play on those. So, why you got me? Any other questions before I boogie? Rombo, your inspectors. I love teaching inspectors. They want to listen. I'm more than happy. They want to listen. I don't know it all, but I'll share what I might know. There are 3 here looped together if they aren't in concrete. Yeah, so I'm not sure the question there, but the reality is I really do have a problem with jurisdictions and people coming up with crap that they don't even know what they're talking about. I mean, they really don't. And it's getting worse and worse. And, I did go on a forum, and I don't go on forums anymore. And I went on a forum, and the guy was telling people you don't have to follow code. It's a recommendation. It's not a requirement. And boy, I just had to bite my tongue, and I just went, okay, it's time for me to get out of that forum. Code is a minimum safety standard. You have to meet it. I understand life, things happen. You have to do certain things, but your effort should always be to meet the minimum standard of the code. And you can go above it if you want, but jurisdictions should not make you go over it. Okay? It's not their money that's coming out of. It's you and your customers' money. Okay? They think they know, but they don't know. And that's a problem. Okay? Making people do things that they don't have to do because they're ignorant. It's not good. Okay? So it's not that I know everything. You know everything. It's a matter of just simply studying and understanding and asking enough questions and things like that. That's really what we're talking about. So just do it right. And again, don't trust what everybody, because, it is tough. I tell you right now, for an educator like myself who answers literally thousands of questions a year, it is tougher and tougher. And I hope I don't offend anybody, but the questions that get asked are less and less detailed because you know what you're talking about in your mind. It's in here for you. But when you type it out or you send it to me or you text it to me, you're not as clear because when you're texting it, you know what you're trying to say. But I don't. So I had to spend an entire career trying to convey a message in a way that I knew that the person I was talking to didn't know anything about the topic so that I could explain it in detail. So I sometimes have a hard time, and that's the one reason that a lot of code experts don't like to answer stuff is because it's always a loaded question because you know what you want to ask. I don't know what you want to ask. And you might ask it and use slang or you might use terminologies that I'm just not familiar with. You might think I should be, but I'm not. And then I've got to try to answer a question for you, and it is really tough. And I do a pretty good job of it, but sometimes I get questions that are asked that I'm like, I'm not sure 100%. So some of you might have had me email back to you or have a conversation with me, and I'm not being snarky on a response. I can't in my head picture what you're asking. And so it makes it hard for me to give you an intelligent response because I'm not in your head. And unless you paint me a picture, it's tougher. That, you know what I'm saying? So it makes it a little harder. But I noticed that a lot on forums where people can have a conversation over something for 20 minutes and they're talking about two different things, right? They're not even on the same page. Okay? Ices, baby. Love them. All right. Any other questions for our buggy out? Any other code questions? If you got a code question, go ahead and ask it. You got Glocks? I got Glocks. Although mine won't travel with me. They won't let me fly. I got, sadly. Wish I could take it. I'd take my Glocks with me. But they will not let me. Can't even take my little small Glock 45. So, at any rate. All right. Well, I guess got no more code questions. So, I appreciate you all. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully you got something out of tonight's podcast. I do think that I look forward to you guys sending me some recommendations for future podcasts and video casts, and not just code related, about different topics, different things that you think that the industry would like to talk about. If there's any special guests on a certain topic that you'd like that I can reach out to, I've got some guests lined up. I find the shows goes much better for when I have a topic, but people were asking me about websites, so I figured I'd do something on a website. But you remember, the whole Electrician Live thing was designed for the podcast. This video thing was kind of like the Howard Stern thing or whatever that's just sitting here in the background. This wasn't the focus. It was the podcast is the focus. And I've kind of gotten away from that, and because a lot of the stuff I do on the video, it's very visual. You've got to see the screen. And a lot of people say, well, keep doing the video. Well, the problem is I don't have 1/10 the subscribers in the videos that I do on the podcasts and the simulcast and what that gets done. And so it's a much bigger audience. And so I've got to kind of create two different things. That's why I do the videos during the week and I do the Electrician Live on weekends. But lately I've come up with topics that are very visual, and it's hard to do visual and do it in a podcast. So I'm sure that everybody that was listening to the podcast are like, what is he talking about? I can't even see the screen. I don't know what he's talking about. It is a podcast. Did he know it was a podcast? So I am more than sure I lost most of those individuals not knowing what in the world I was talking about anyway. So that's okay. Not a biggie. But it looks like the stream did okay. So that's good. Your girlfriend is yelling? Well, a video on how a woman's brain works. Ooh, God. Wow. I don't know, man. That would be like... Here's how I think a woman's brain works. Oh, God, my wife is... I have to do my apologies now. I'm sorry, everybody. I was just playing. This is exactly what I think of my wife thinking about what I do. If I explain how... No, actually, that's the sound I'm going to have on the couch the next 3 weeks from that little smart aleck comment. Anyway, I got to go. I appreciate you all. Till next time, y'all stay safe. God bless. I did it again. Later. You've been listening to Electrician Live with your host, Paul Aber.